the fatherfish application of the Wallstead deep substrate method. We use dirted tanks here at Fatherfish, but we've developed a few techniques and a few systems that augment and prolong the life of the systems developed by Diana Wallstead. What I want to show you today is precisely what we use and how we do it, how we use it in the process of putting together our substrate. And I just thought the one thing we did not prepare here is the last step, which is the sand. So we'll be grabbing a bag of sand and have that ready so that we can show you the full process. But let's get started. I have in front of me a variety of products, all of which are used as supplements in the soil that we're creating. The reason we add these supplements is to prolong the life of the soil, to help it get to the point after 2 or 3 years where it will be a fully cycled substrate and will be providing the kind of long-term balance, long-term systemic production that will allow plants to grow and waste to be converted into 3 different items. We use peat moss, potting soil, and a good compost material. In this case, we're using black cow, which is a composted manure, which is perfect for our purposes. So let's get started. I'm going to reach down below me and pull up handfuls of, first of all, and get to the openings. Here we go. We'll start with, oh, we have a container. Good. Just what I wanted. We'll start with peat moss. Now, we're doing a 10-gallon tank today, so I'm going to try to do an appropriate amount. That's about 3 cups. So 3 cups of peat moss. The next is potting soil, about 2 cups. That's a little more of potting soil. And the third is the black cow, the manure, the composted manure, about 2 cups of manure. So there we have the basic elements. Let's get this mixed up and stirred up in here. We're going to be doing a lot of mixing as we go along. Now, this is pretty much the volume that we're looking for. It's about 2 inches. We're going to be adding to it, but it's not going to increase the volume much because it's really pretty small amounts. And we have a number of different things here. These elements that we're adding, we're doing it in order to increase the longevity of the nutritional value of the soil. One of the problems that Diana Wallstead discovered with the soils is that the nutritional value is used up in about a year. And it takes more than a year for the substrate to accumulate new nutrition from the waste that's being produced in the tank. So what we've done here is we found a way to be able to increase the longevity of the soil that is available to the fish. So let's begin. Let's begin with some of these items. Probably the most important one is ironite, iron. The iron that we use, this ironite, we're going to put about that much, about 2 capsules, about 4 tablespoons, a little bit more. Mix it directly in the soil. This is wet. That's interesting.
Don't even hold it up in front here. They'll get a good view of it.
Oh, all right. Okay. The next one we have here is garden lime. The reason that we use ironite is to provide iron for the plants. It's a critical component of plant growth. So the next we use is lime. Lime helps to maintain a stable pH. Can add a little more, about that much. The next thing we have here is bone meal. Now we're getting into organics. We're adding organics to the soils. A little bit of that. You get the feeling, here's bone meal, a little bit of that. You get the feeling a little like you're an old-time chemist. I like to use Osmocote. It's a slow-release fertilizer that works really well in the system. It takes 6 months to a year for it to break down. I now have organic and natural all-purpose fertilizer, so simply an additional organic fertilizer. So we're overdoing this. We're over pushing it. The next thing I use is Epsom salts. I use Epsom salts in order to be able to maintain a proper balance in the water. It has magnesium sulfate in it. The magnesium sulfate helps to maintain the balance. Now, I also add, this is a marine buffer. It's calcium, which calcium provides a KH component that helps to, again, maintain the balance. There are 3 more things I add to this. One is diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth, sodium bicarbonate, and I have a powdered lime. We already had some, we don't need a whole lot more. Now I've got a couple of other ingredients here that I can use. I don't normally use them when I'm shipping out because they're liquid, but they're really helpful. One is liquid iron, which simply adds to the iron that's available. And the other is fish fertilizer, a really stinky, smelly, nasty product that has an enormous amount of food value. Now, I'm not using a lot of this because I don't want to make it totally disgusting. Okay, now we're going to mix all of that in, like so. Mix it all together good. And then we're going to add water. I'm going to take water right out of one of these fish tanks. You see I've got a little bit of plant material in that. I got some stuff that's already. Now it looks like I put way too much water in here. because it's made it soupy, and we do not want it soupy. So let's get it all mixed in there first. And then I'm going to grab a net, and we're going to remove some of the water. So we'll just we'll pick this up, squeeze it out in the trash can. So you can see what I'm doing. And you get some of this excess water out of here. I may need to do this. Let's see, let's try that one more time. That actually, I think, worked pretty well. We got some more out. I want to get it down to a consistency so that when we put the cap on it, the sand, it'll sit on top of it and not sink down in it. So we want to be able to get all of this dirt. We want to be able to keep it all under the sand. Let's see how we're doing here. This is better already. Pretty close. It's pretty muddy. Let's do one more time. We're a little soupy on this corner, so let's try to get this in here and squeeze it out one more time, and I think we'll be in good shape. Okay, that's pretty good. That's about the consistency we want. All right. Now what we need to do is add sand. I have a bag of sand down here that's 50 pounds. I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to pour it into the tank, and I hope I don't drop it in the process. It's a brand new bag. Oh dear. All right, we got it that far. I think I can do this. So as it pours in, we want to move it around, make sure we're covering all of the dirt. We want to get 2 inches of sand on top of the dirt. Let's see where we're at. We need more. Now what I did not do that I should have done was clean the sides of the glass while I was doing this. So I'm going to kind of try to do it now, just to get this, the spots of dirt. And we'll just do this for the front. Just get the spots of dirt off the glass where the sand is. You can kind of see what I'm doing here. So it's a little cleaner. And just put the sand down in. Let's see now. We've got about, well, 1.5 inches, close to 2 inches, still a little more. It's important to do 2 inches. 2 inches gives you the anaerobic protection that the system needs in order to be able to work properly. In other words, we want to have enough sand cap on here to make sure, number one, that the dirt cannot escape up into the water column, although there's going to be a little bit just because of the dirt we have stuck here, because we were kind of messy doing this. It's not going to hurt anything though. Want to keep the dirt down and also keep the anaerobics down under the sand. And that takes about 2 inches. We're there, we're at 2 inches. Okay, so that's that. Now the next step is simply to fill it. We fill it by putting the water in without stirring it up. I'm going to use this container. I'm going to take water out of the tank, because I'll have a faucet here, and I'm going to pour it into the container and try not to stir things up, because I don't want, I'm not doing a good job here, am I? I don't want to stir the sand up. Okay, that actually worked fairly well. And I can do it now. I'll do a little more, just to kind of give you the idea of what we're trying to do here. Ah! All right, I got a little plant in here. So there we have it. That's pretty good. All right, we just created a tank, a dirted tank that has water in it. We can fill it up, we can put rock work in, whatever kind of decorations. We can begin planting. Let me just explain a little bit about planting. Here's a couple of plants. It's an Amazon sword. We want to put that down just in the top inch of sand. You can see what I'm doing. I'm kind of pulling the sand over the roots. Here's another one. Pulling the sand over the roots. I'm not getting it down into the dirt. I don't want to get it into the dirt because I don't want to burn the roots off. And now we can add more water to this. And there we have it. I'm not going to fill it all the way because we got to empty it. Rinsing the dirt off and the sand. Now, we can actually put fish in this immediately. We don't need to wait a week or a month or whatever. We can put fish in it immediately. The critical thing is to feed very sparingly at this point. You can put a sponge filter in here. You can see the water's a little murky. We did have some splashed dirt on the sides that got into the water column. If you're careful in a way that I'm not, you can avoid that. It's a matter of being a good bit more delicate than I've been here. But now you've got the idea. You know exactly how to set this thing up, what you're trying to achieve, and what it's going to be able to do for you. This now is a permanent display. This will last 20 years. Or longer. It will become permanent. As it gets a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, all of that material I put in the substrate will have broken down and become available as nutrients. The detritus coming into the system will begin moving through it. It'll become a balanced environment. This is the beginning, the first day. At this point, the important thing is to leave it alone. Don't go in and clean it. Don't stir it up. Don't try to make it better. Don't try to solve your problems. Let it be and let it go and let it work, and you will have created a father fish deep substrate aquarium. thanks for plugging in today, for tuning in, and for giving us a chance to show you just how we go about setting up new tanks. Thank you. Make sure you plug into our streams. We have live streams every day of the week, 9 o'clock in the morning on weekdays, 6 o'clock in the evening. That's Eastern Standard Time on weekends. Bye for now. Nice to be with you.